But it was in that middle portion where the score went down and then kind of stayed down for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went to red just for a short period. And you recognize that.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do to correct it?
I tried to slow my breath down, and I recognized that it's kind of like a closed loop circuit, so I also tried to just really focus on the screen and kind of discount everything else, because I knew with just kind of like centering, then both my scores would go up and I would be back in the green or back into like a more steady state. Because I could tell I wasn't in a steady state.
So would you say for interventions that breathing is probably your primary one when that occurs? Or your ability to refocus?
There's
Or
a lot of
combination?
self-talk.
Self-talk.
Self-talk, and then the ability to refocus but still zone out, which doesn't make sense to say out loud, but when, like we've talked about before, the flow state. So I'm just looking at the screen, I know what's the balls I'm tracking, and I just kind of let my brain do the rest instead of actively tracking it, and then I can normally get back.
What self-talk? What kind of self-talk? Motivational self-talk? Instructional self-talk?
Both. Sometimes it's negative, but for the most part, it's just like, all right, all you have to do is focus.
What about goal setting?
For NeuroTracker in particular, for the crossover into handball.
Or yeah, either or both?
Goal setting for NeuroTracker is more so like, I just want to get the sessions in, and less about what score I get.
You're focused more on the process of just
Right.
doing NeuroTracker to the best of your ability.
Yeah, and like if my score is like substantially lower than I know what I'm capable of, then it'll kind of bother me. But if I'm like, for right now, I tend to score between like somewhere between like 2.3 and 2.6, and so if I'm somewhere in that kind of range,
Then you're happy.
yeah, then I'm happy because I feel like I actively tried. Whereas if I'm lower than that, I know that I let something outside affect my performance, instead of just zoning in and focusing on what I have to do for that 6 minutes.
You're focusing on what you have control over.
Yeah,
And if there's an uncontrollable like the external, then you're able to recognize that and just let it pass.
right.
And use self-talk to help you with that. And the fact that you know that you're going to focus on the process. If you had to break down your process for NeuroTracker, what would it be? Like, what is your process for doing it? Besides, I mean, we're using a balance board. You're calling up, we're core plus 10 balance, and we're at 4 seconds, or we're at 4 targets in 8 seconds. And you're doing the process that you always do, but is there a mental process that you're doing, or are you just letting your brain do its business?
I think I'm just letting my brain do what it should do.
And
when I try to start thinking about the process, or like try to like really focus, that's when I don't score well. And it's normally because there's some outside stressor, or like my arousal just happens to be high at that point in time. And I'm not able to put that aside, which I think this might be one of like the best benefits potentially, is just the ability to set like outside stressors, like not even like handball related, maybe it's school, maybe it's something like super random, like, oh, I have to like go to the bank or whatever, but it's just another stressor, and so the ability to set those aside, I think, will have a huge payout on the court and just in life.
Right. One thing I thought of the other day is how NeuroTracker, the research shows that once you have gained this level, it stays with you. And I'm like, yeah, but then why is my score going down? And then I went, well, it's because you didn't get good sleep.
Right.
or your nutrition was bad, or you're not hydrated, or you've got some external factors going on with life, and that affects your performance. So, yes, it trains your brain and makes it faster, and it will retain it. Like if you train on a bicycle, you're going to know it forever. But if you train on NeuroTracker, it should stay there. But hey, I'm not always going to ride my bike as good every day, even though I know how to do it, and I've gotten better based on my sleep or my nutrition.
Yeah, I think it's really easy for us to get into like this idea that like we can or we should be peaking every single day or like getting a little bit better. And I think that's where like my process approach to this makes a lot of sense, because like I know I'm not gonna peak every day. Like I'm gonna have a ton of ups and downs. I'll probably have one that's really high one day, like abnormally high, and then I'll probably go back down to like mid-range, and like I'm totally fine with that.
Right.
Does not bother me at all.
Because that's going to be the same way in your sport.
Right, exactly. I just think culturally, it's easy for us to get into that like peak every day. And
That's because
not-
our whole culture focuses on
Exactly.
peak and the
that's not
scoreboard.
possible. It's optimization is not peaking. I think that's
Right.
really important to denote and then to understand.
And also optimization, I like to use the term performance excellence, which is just that consistent.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be small ups and downs, little small peaks and valleys. But if it's peak performance, it implies there's a peak.
Right.
And if you look at a mountain peak, there's a downside to it.
Yeah. Which training for like Pan Ams, like there should be a peak. Like you want to
Right.
be at a peak. But in terms of like just general training and like every day, like you don't want to peak. You just want kind of that constant build, and then a month, 2 months out of whatever you're gonna do, like really ramp up for that peak, knowing that you're gonna have a fallout on the other side, but then continuing back up so your next peak can be higher.
Right. Right. They're working with 4 targets. He's like, well, at least track 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give up. Just keep tracking. If you lose 2 or you lose that 1, just keep tracking the 2. Or if you're down to 1, just keep tracking 1. So that gives that perseverance training to just stay with
Yeah.
it.
I do that all the time. Like I'll lose 2 or I'll lose 1. I'm like, oh well, maybe I can randomly guess it, and I just continue to track like the other 3. And so a lot of times I'll get, most of the time, if I'm gonna get partial, it's I'm normally getting 3 out of the 4, or 2 out of the 3. And then every now and then I'll get 2, but I feel like that's more probability than anything else.
Right.
But yeah, I try to, even if I know I lost 1, try to at least follow the other 3. If I can get 3 out of 4, knowing that I lost 1, I'm happy with